Okay. So,
All
uh,
right. Before we start, we have
uh-huh.
to be careful with our, you know, sneezing, blowing noses,
Oh, yeah.
all those guys. I've been listening to some of these.
Oh, goodness gracious.
we got to do something about that. It's
No,
crazy.
no, no, I'm fine now. I'm fine. True.
I don't think no. It's not just you. It's all. I think I have to watch out.
So, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this caper, as it were. If you can tell me, uh, why are, and I'm sure this topic has been covered. We've seen specials about this, but man, I tried to listen to. I showed it to you. I tried to listen to what's her face, Amy Schumer.
Amy Schumer.
There was even
Can I
a
tell you? Can I
yeah.
tell you that I didn't listen to it,
Uh-huh. Okay.
and because I already know that I won't be able to. So I don't want to make you think that I actually listened to it.
No,
I just know that I can't.
that's fine. That's fine. What I'm trying to say is that actually this particular she did like this roast of Roseanne, actually, of an actual funny comedian, and she did a roast of Roseanne, and the actual material was actually quite funny, but it sounded like it should have been either delivered by a funnier comedian, like even a female comedian, or just a man, or just another comedian, and or a man. Had it been delivered by a male comedian, any one of these funny male comedians, it would have been great. But because it was delivered by her, I don't know if it's her tone. I don't know if it's her like lack of likability. I don't know what it is about her. She's just not funny. I don't know why people think she is. I don't know why people think a lot of female comedians are funny. Many of them are not. There's a few that are, but most are not. I'm not saying this because it's like men versus women. It's just I'm saying it objectively. If I just sit there and I gauge by whether or not I laughed, and they're just not, they're not funny. They're not funny. I mean, you could say like, dude, like people sit around and say, well, women don't need to be funny, so they didn't develop that whole, I guess you could say, tendency, evolutionary, whatever tendency. But there's got to be something deeper. There's got to be something more kabbalistic and from a Torah perspective that explains to us why the hell the ones that think that they're funny but are not get up on stage. And actually, I've met girls who are funny who have not performed, who are just like naturally funny. Their personality's funny, who have made me laugh. And where does that come from?
So how many questions do we have here? Let's
I don't know.
this.
There's like one giant one, but it's unpacked into like 7. It's
So
really
okay. So just one at a time. Then.
why do women not need to be funny? Why are women not funny? Why do women who are not funny insist on performing? And I'll just add one more, talking about primarily their genitalia or their time of the month or whatever it is, or like dating. That's really the only thing they talk about is dating, genitalia, and time of the month. Yeah, like what and yeah, most of them are not funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I think that people who are funny generally are people who need to be funny because of the circumstances in which they found themselves.
Yeah.
Probably early on in life.
Yeah.
And so there are funny women. I think that those funny women found themselves in unusual circumstances for women.
Yeah.
And so they had to develop the sense of humor. They had to develop shtick. First, they have to develop the ability to recognize it.
Yeah.
then they had to be able to appreciate why it's useful and why it's necessary for most of the people who need it, which are men.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm speaking generally here. Okay. Some wise guy is always going to say, "Oh, but I know a lady who did this." Yeah. Okay. Fine. I understand. There's lots of exceptions. Okay, but there really is generality. There is.
Yeah.
There's a pattern. You'll find men most of the time in certain situations that you won't find women in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back to the Flintstone. Let's go back to what do they call their town? Bedrock.
Bedrock. Yeah. Speaking of Bedrock.
Yeah.
Funny.
Greg was referring to a record label that we spoke about yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to Bedrock. Bedrocksville. Right? A billion years ago. Right? So you had people who were trying to survive. Right? Now, I understand that this is probably not an accurate portrayal of history, but this is what most people were taught. This is kind of like a cartoonish sort of hyperbolic, picture of generally what we were taught. That in prehistoric times, man had to hunt woolly mammoth and the like, right?
Yeah.
And saber-toothed tigers and lots of other things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem is that the woolly mammoth and the saber-toothed tigers, they didn't cotton to being hunted too much. They didn't like it, okay? And very often they would fight back. So when groups of guys from a tribe or some kind of, organization of humans, they would go hunting, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And desperate for food, okay? And they have to kill a giant monster to eat it and bring it back home. That's what was fine. You had women once in a while do this kind of stuff too. Okay, but most of the time it was men. Okay, and the women who came with them, if they ever did, they were probably funny.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so guys who had to go on hunts and then obviously war, hunting and war and dangerous jobs. Even me, like I'm not putting myself anywhere near, in the league of prehistoric, hunters,
yeah.
or anybody who's been in any war, God forbid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I worked on construction sites for a couple of years. I know I keep whining about that, but I just use it because it's an experience. I can learn. I can use it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know anything else. I just know what I know. That's what I experienced. So, it's very dangerous. There's at least 18 times that I was nearly killed on construction sites during that period. And that's standard, by the way.
Yeah.
It was maybe a little bit more for me because I couldn't see. And I tried to keep that as quiet as possible.
It's
okay?
Funny. Yeah.
All right? But still, especially electricians, construction electricians, that is extra dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just a regular job. You tell somebody you're an electrician, it's like, oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Most people don't really understand what it takes. What that's really like.
Mm-hmm.
You can get buried in a cave-in, like the trench
Sure.
that you're digging. It can collapse on you. I've seen that. Okay, you can get flattened by construction equipment. There's just so many ways. There's 1,001 ways to die in a construction site.
Mm-hmm.
And that's regular. Like nobody thinks construction sites are nobody's sitting vigils, right? For construction workers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, construction workers, get to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. They don't give a damn. You had dude falling off the building back in the day. Did anybody cry for them? No, really. Yeah. It's like how many dead dudes did it take to build like the Brooklyn Bridge or something like that, or these spires?
It's so funny that you say that. I just heard the other day a rabbi discussing the Tower of Babel,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what you probably heard this too, that the Tower of Babel, it got to the point they were so committed to their, tower project that as they were building it, if a person fell off the tower and died, they didn't bother. Whatever.
Yeah.
But if one of the bricks that they were using fell, the material for the tower, like, then they would start, sitting Shiva.
Famous thing. Yeah.
It's kind of, it's not that far off from what it's like,
No. Yeah. More or less.
And it's funny. The crew that I was with in one of the construction sites, they're like, "Look, guys, you guys, they're talking especially to the apprentices.
Yeah.
They're like, guys, listen, we care about you and all, but if one of you gets killed, by doing something dumb, right? By standing behind like a boom lift or one of these like machines, and you get killed, we're gonna bury you in a very deep hole and then say that you disappeared because we're not gonna let you ruin our lives in this project, right? You're gonna put us. We're all counting on. We need the money here. You're gonna put a stop to that.
That's hilarious.
Do you understand? I mean, they were kidding, but they weren't kidding.
Yeah, sure, of course.
All right, so why am I so this is a very long-winded way of saying that men have been in situations, it's mostly men that have been in situations where they watch they die a lot, they get torn to pieces, and they guys see their friends get torn in half, no legs, head get, I'm serious, I'm not exaggerating, this is not hyperbolic.
I know.
Okay, like think of Normandy, storming the beaches of Normandy, these guys would be like they'd all be beheaded. Mowed down, literally cut in half by anyway. So, and people saw that. Can you imagine the guys who in Stalingrad, 2 soldiers, 1 rifle?
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy. And if you tried to turn back, then the Russian soldiers would be shooting anybody who tried to run away from the battlefield.
Yep.
You understand? This is the history of men.
Yep.
Now, when and I know women have been through a lot of stuff too. I'm not, I can hear these like telepathically. I can hear all these like whiny voices. I can hear the squeaks of like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. The banshees, it's called the streaking banshees.
This isn't a suffering competition. I'm just trying to say, where did humor develop from?
Yeah.
Now, if you watch the Lifetime channel, okay, television for women.
No, it's television for idiots, according to Family Guy. Lifetime, television for idiots.
Right. Okay. So women like feel-good stuff. Okay. When they're upset or something emotional happens, something psychologically difficult, a loss of, God forbid, a family member, a broken heart, serious things. These aren't things to laugh at. So women, jokes are not going to help women in these situations. They want support. They want their friends. They want hugs. They want, they need support. It's understandable. They're human beings. They're in pain. They need help. They want to reach out, and that's the kind of thing that helps ladies in those type of situations. Okay, but ladies, that doesn't help guys who saw their buddy's head get shot off. Literally, that's not hugs and get-togethers, and that's not going to help. Okay, so humor was born from that. Okay, I'm sure that real humor started out like sardonic,
Yeah.
Where just to cope, because listen, not only did he see his friend's head get ripped off by a woolly mammoth tusk, he has to go back out and hunt again.
Yeah.
You understand? That wasn't like a one-time thing. He has to do that all the time to live. So, so even though he saw that and a part of his humanity died the moment he saw that, I think if you want to know what that feels like, kind of a little tiny taste of it, when you're a kid and you're watching Lord of the Flies, the one that came out in the 90s, when all of a sudden, there's a bunch of like little kids, and there's like little kids that kind of like fighting, and they're making fun of each other, and there's like some trouble brewing, and then that tall blonde kid, he throws the rock from the cliff and it crushes Piggy's head. He killed Piggy. Remember that? I don't know if you've ever seen that. Do you remember? Like, I think I saw that when I was 8. Yeah. I was like, did they just kill a kid in the movie? I wasn't prepared for that. Yeah. I was like, that's a child. They killed.
Yeah.
They killed a child. I didn't think you were allowed to kill children.
Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
I'm joking right now, but I wasn't joking inside.
Yeah.
I remember the trauma. I remember. Yeah. I was like, I didn't shake that off in a day or two. Okay. So, and then, that's just a little tiny, like a little baby example. I don't want to bring examples from real life of stuff, that kind of stuff. Okay. So, so when you see that times a million, you still have to, if you survive, you have to get home to your family. And you can't be a wreck, right? So guys had to develop a very, very, very thick armor, okay? And they had to develop a sardonic type of humor.
Yeah.
Okay? Black, dark humor, okay? Yeah. And then you ended up with something like, like when James Bond kills somebody, like, the guy's head gets ripped off, he goes, he never had a head for this sort of work, or something like that, he'll say some kind of like, smart ass comment, like somebody just died, right? They were just like, chewed up in a, some kind of like wood chipper, right? And he'll make a comment on that, he'll make like a clever quip, as they say, right?
Yeah.
Related to, right? He was eaten by a shark. He goes, he told me something smelled fishy. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's the kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's how inside James Bond wasn't being, he wasn't like pleased by that. But you have to say something like that because life has to go on somehow.
Of course.
And you can't be depressed. You got to function.
Of course.
That's where humor comes from.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like being tough. You're trying to be tough.
Yeah.
Humor comes from toughness.
Yeah.
And if you're not tough, you're not funny.
Yeah.
And that's why Amy Schumer's not funny.
But I feel like it's deep, with her it's deeper than that. It's like it's just like a non-likability and also like a non I just can't put my finger on it. There's something about her
because there's another thing about Amy Schumer. There's another thing about Amy Schumer. She's a political operative. She's not an entertainer.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
So it's forced. Do you understand? Like,
that's what it is. It's forced. It's forced.
She has an agenda. You could tell that this isn't just a joke. She's not doing this just to, do you understand? Like people like Buddy Hackett, Don Rickles, Red Skelton.
It's not lighthearted. It's not lighthearted when it comes from her. It's not lighthearted.
They love the audience.
Yeah.
The only thing they care about is making those people laugh. They'll do anything to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, they need it, because it's some kind of like, what do they call it, Like, when you need approval from other people. You know what I mean? Like, you feel good about yourself.
Attention-seeking behavior, whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay? So entertainers all need that, It's all me.
Yeah.
Look at me, Yeah. Either they want you to look at them either as, when they're being self-deprecating, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at me, I'm so,
Yep.
Look at me, I'm so short and fat, or, that kind of stuff. So that's really just, they're asking for more attention. Like, they're up on stage, they're showing their face, right? So if you were really so concerned about being made fun of for being short and fat, you wouldn't get your ass up on stage,
For sure.
right, and show everybody how short and fat you are.
Yeah, of course.
You would be like me. You know what I mean? You wouldn't want to show your face.
You would just hide. Show us your face. Show us your face.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, my head is gonna explode when I get to Miami where we sit down. You'll see.
You know, we got to be careful with our language. You know, I could just picture sitting somewhere like in Zal, in the yeshiva study.
Oh my God.
And two guys messing around, and the rabbi passes. He goes, "Watch what you say.
Yeah.
Our words are very, I have that rabbi walking around in my head.
Yeah, same.
He's walking on my head.
Yeah.
All right, but the problem is he's right.
Yep.
Which is that's the problem.
That's the issue.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's forced, and it's not necessary. That person didn't suffer in that way. You understand?
Yeah.
Humor, if you're trying to pretend to be funny in that way, that's like stolen valor. It's almost like stolen.
Yeah.
Like, what do you have this? You're trying to portray yourself having the sense of humor of a guy that was like a longshoreman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how many seasons did you spend on the dock?
Exactly.
Tell me. Yeah.
I mean, it could have been a.
Like you're trying to portray. You're trying to adopt the shtick of a second generation.
Well, if it was a girl, she could have spent on the docks in a different way. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, but then that kind of that type of humor. Like Lisa Lampanelli.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious.
Right, but because that's probably comes from her experience.
Yeah.
That's the way she suffered.
It's like I was with a Hispanic and they
suffered horribly.
I was with a Hispanic and they steal, but they're good in bed. That kind of stuff.
Yes, she suffered. Hispanics laugh at that because they're like, she's definitely been lived in a Hispanic neighborhood.
Yeah.
And she's been tortured,
Yeah.
just like the rest of us.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
They understand that.
Yeah.
When it's real, people understand it.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
except for the woke lunatics.
Yeah. Dude, that's what I noticed. They don't want to talk about anything that's real unless it's their reality or their truth.
Which is not reality.
Which is not reality. They don't want to hear about my reality. They don't give a damn about my reality.
What are you describing, Greg? What are you describing right now? You're talking about Kabbalah. You want to know what are you describing?
I'm describing Sitra, right? Sitra.
Amy Schumer gets her humor from the Sitra Achra.
Yeah.
It's a fake. Folks, the Sitra Achra it's a fake coding.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like if you have a piece of beautiful walnut wood, mahogany, right? Oak, right? The reality of that is that, you want to see the grain, you want to emphasize it. Okay? So you either leave it bare or you give it like you coat it with some kind of oil which brings out the grain. The Sitra Achra will cover it with gold foil.
Yeah.
Okay? Actually, the Sitra Achra wouldn't use gold. It would use like...
I was going to say, copper.
It would use like plastic.
Yeah. I was going to say something not even like worth anything.
Right. But it would use it wouldn't use real gold. It would use like aluminum foil that looks gold that's not real gold.
Yeah.
Like that stuff that they use to the cover for the Hanukkah coins.
Yeah.
The chocolate coins.
Yeah. The fake.
Like the wrapper. That's not real gold.
Yeah, of course not.
But right, so the Sitra Achra will do that, but it'll do that to a table.
Yeah.
Which doesn't need it.
Yeah.
The coin needs a covering because you don't want to sell a bare piece of chocolate to someone, right?
Yeah.
But the table doesn't need it at all. And the Sitra Achra will cover it to make it look like a gold table.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of the putting shit in a box and calling it brake pads kind of thing, from Tommy Boy.
Yeah, from Tommy Boy, right.
That's what it does. It puts shit in a box and calls it brake pads.
And put a guarantee on it, but all you have is a guarantee.
Yeah. That's a Sitra Achra. It sells you things that are like nothing.
Right. We are Callahan Auto. We're not. We're not going to, sell you crap in a box.
Exactly.
Okay. But that humor from political operatives is crap in a box.
You know what's funny? The last name of the president of Ukraine is Zelensky, and the last name of that villain guy in Tommy Boy, he wasn't even a villain. He was just a guy that Zelensky. That's interesting, right?
Yeah, that was a Polish. He was.
Yeah.
He was pretending to be a
Polish
Chicago. It was in Chicago, so you have a
Polish car guy, Polish car parts guy.
Yeah.
As most of them are, or many of them, in Chicago. I make parts for the American working man because that's who I am and that's who I care about.
Yeah.
Zelensky Auto Parts.
Coach Ditka. Coach
Ditka. It's that whole Midwestern accent thing. It's like,
dude, I saw Coach Ditka recently, and he's old, it depresses me. He's not imposing anymore.
I know it's.
When you saw that guy before, he looked like a bear.
Yeah, and also Dick Butkus. You know that guy, Dick Butkus?
Dick Butkus.
Here, let's look him up.
Dick he was in Johnny Dangerously, right? He was one of the cast members. I think so.
I'm not. Let's check. Let me see. Dick Butkus. First of all, Dick Butkus. I bet he's not that old actually. He's 79. It's not super old. I thought he was older. From Chicago.
Dude, you would have to, in order to get through life with a name like Dick Butkus.
Yeah.
You better be a giant.
You better beat some ass. You better beat that ass. His father was Lithuanian.
You know that my ninja teacher, right?
Ninja teacher.
Yeah, ninja teacher. Back in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Guy named code word cream cheese, right?
Yes.
So he would always say, he goes, because he's teaching skinny, pimply yeshiva boys, right?
That's hilarious, yeah.
So he's like, guys, if you understand the techniques here, right? He goes, even a guy, even a really effeminate gay guy, if he knew these techniques, he could walk the street with a pink feather coming out of his hat, and they would say, there goes the feather.
Yeah.
They would give him respect.
Yeah. There goes
he's
the
not
feather.
The gay guy, that's the feather.
That's very funny.
Right? That's Dick Butkus, okay?
So Dick Butkus was in Longest Yard. He was in Johnny Dangerously.
Yeah, dude, Johnny Dangerously. I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find the clip where he says something, and it's actually
hold on.
His. I will never forget. Even the first time I saw it, I'll remember his line in that movie is hilarious. Hold on.
Dick Butkus, Johnny.
Because it's like he says something right after Roman Moroni.
Here. Okay. How do you spell?
Hold on, I'm gonna.
Crud. My E button on my. This is so annoying. Hold on.
Hang on.
I can't find it.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna have a different way. Hold on.
Here, Johnny Dangerously.
The mouth on that guy. He said that was his line.
That's what it was?
His line was the mouth on that guy. But hold on.
I want to see just the character. What was the name of the character that he played? I don't remember. Vermin. Here. He played Arthur.
Wait. Hold on.
He played a guy named Arthur.
I found it.
Oh, yeah?
I found it. Can you hear it?
No. Cannot at all.
How about now?
Not at all.
What's that bastard one, huh?
Nothing?
Now, yes.
Okay, listen.
I can't.
Tricks, Maroney. What are you doing here, icehole? Can a fellow enjoy a night out gambling with some of his pals? Don't bullshit me. Six of some of them bets. Hey, we're clean, Maroney. You see, I don't bear no grudges, even though you boys have been muscling in on my territory. Why do you do that, Maroney? It's a big country, icehole. We're clean, boss. Okay, you and the rest of your bastages can gamble. But don't try no bargain trick. Otherwise, you wind up with your bells in a sling. Put a mouth on that guy.
You heard it?
Yeah.
He looked genuinely concerned. He was very offended. He's like, put a mouth on that guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't like angry. He was just like, you know.
That's funny.
He's like, oh my god.
Huh. Seriously, who
He
told
did a great job with that line, man.
That's funny. Yeah, he plays this guy.
And
Arthur,
while he was talking,
Arthur.
you saw him kind of like sitting there getting upset. You know, he's like, gosh, you know. He's like, golly.
Yeah. Oh, dude, he and I have the same birthday, December 9th. That's cool.
Nice.
Dick Buck is except I don't close lines.
So you that's your celebrity.
I have a few celebrity
My celebrity
birthdays.
was Tubbs.
I have
from Miami Vice.
I have a few celebrity birthdays. Hold on. December. Crap.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Hold on, December 9th birthday. Famous December 9th birthdays. Judi Dench.
Nice.
John Malkovich. That I could relate. That I could definitely. He strikes me as a. If you're into that stuff, Sagittarius. Bo Bridges. Felicity Huffman. Who the hell is? Oh, Simon Helberg, that guy that plays. He's like a. He and I think are like the same age. The guy that plays the Jew guy in Big Bang Theory. Who else has the same birthday as me? That's basically it. Oh, here you go. More celebrity birthdays. There was another guy. Oh, Mario Cantone is December 9th? Really?
Dude, I'm very devastated. I just found something out.
What?
Jeremy Corbyn has my birthday.
Oh my god. You're the Tikkun for Jeremy Corbyn.
I'm not happy.
I'm not happy. You sound like
Obi-Wan
Kenobi. I've never been happy.
Kyle from South Park.
Nice.
Let's see. Bobcat Goldthwait. Yes.
Dude, but like I have the same birthday as Mario Cantone. Bobcat Goldthwait is a cool person to have a birthday
I have the same birthday as Helena Bonham Carter.
Bobcat. Dude, did I ever tell you about I was in Argentina in 2007.
Lenny Kravitz.
That's cool.
Lenny Kravitz.
Dude, I was in Buenos Aires in oh, dude, I had the same birthday as Red Fox.
Nice.
And Kirk Douglas. I knew it was Kirk Douglas. Yeah, that's what. Red Fox.
Dude, that's.
Yeah. Okay, so I was in Buenos Aires, and I was on one of these like tours, bicycle tours, of the city.
Yeah.
And the longest street in Buenos Aires is a road called Florida, like Florida. So the tour guide is at one point, she like stops everybody and she's saying, okay, now we're going to go on Florida. Dude, there was a guy on my tour. He looked exactly like Sweet Chuck from Police Academy. And also, and the guy from SNL, what's I forgot the name of the actor. So every time
hold on, Sweet Chuck. Are you trying to say that Sweet Chuck was on SNL?
He was the guy was on SNL. Also.
That actor who played Sweet Chuck was also a cast member of SNL? Is that what you're saying?
Hello? Yeah, he was in the 80s, in the early 80s.
What?
Yes, Tim Kazurinsky. Tim Kazurinsky was on SNL, dude. He played celebrity impressions on SNL. Mahatma Gandhi, Billie Jean King, Adolf Hitler, Ozzy Osbourne, Gary Hart.
That's right.
So
Sweet Chuck was on SNL. I had no idea.
So this guy that looked like Sweet Chuck on my tour, he just goes, I think he was from Holland or something, and he just goes, Florida. Dude, so every time I hear the word Florida, I just think of that Sweet Chuck guy on my tour going, Florida. Sweet Chuck, Florida. It's just like... And he was wearing, you know what he was wearing, that guy on the tour? He was wearing, you know those the mailman hats, if like a mailman is in like a tropical island, you know those hats? You know what I'm talking
No,
about. They're
no.
they're like here, mailman tropical here. Yeah, it's like a blue just look it up. It's like a blue straw. It's almost like a helmet hat.
Oh, okay. So like I can picture like a mailman in Bermuda.
Yeah, those kind of guys.
It
So
kind
he
of
was
looks. It kind of looks like a construction foreman's hat.
yes, so he was wearing one of those.
I don't get why. Why are they wearing that?
No,
Is it
it's like, you know, one of those. It's like to cover from the sun kind of thing, you know?
protect from coconuts?
Yeah, crap falling on your head, birds pooping. So he was wearing one of those, and he was just going Florida, and he looked like Sweet Chuck. I don't know, it's just like incredible.
Great story, Greg.
Yes, you're welcome. I just
Reminds
thought,
me of my story, of my hallucination story.
yes,
Uneventful.
completely pointless.
No, it had a point. It just wasn't funny.
Dude, you want to know about eventful? Okay, and you want to know about drum and bass? I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you my drum and bass story and why I never listen to drum and why I'll never go to a drum and bass club again. Okay?
I didn't know this about you.
What?
I didn't know that you had this trauma with drum and bass.
No,
Drum and
it's
bass
not
plays
really a
an
trauma with drum and
important
bass.
role in
It's
my
a trauma with alcohol that I associate with drum and bass, but nothing to do with drum and bass. Okay. So we're in Argentina. So my friend and I, we're like, okay, let's pregame before we go out. So we have some wine. We pregame with some wine. Probably, I think we killed off a bottle between the two of us. Then we decided, we found, this one of the nights, we found a Russian restaurant in Buenos Aires, an authentic Russian restaurant. Like a Ryumachne, you know, one of these you sit down, not like, you know, not with a stupid show or anything like that.
They got that many Russians there?
There's a good amount of Russian speakers, yeah. Russians, yeah. Russians, Ukrainians, whatever it is. So we go there, and it's a guy named Slava from Yakutsk who owns the place.
Wow.
Like freaking Siberia, you know?
Yeah, sure.
So he brings us like, you know, selедka, vinaigrette, everything that we, you know, patshuba, all this kind of stuff. Masa, whatever it was. And so we have vodka shots. So mind you, we had wine in the apartment. Now we're having vodka shots, granted with food, but still vodka, right? Then we're like, okay, let's go to a Belgian beer bar. So we go to the Belgian beer bar. You know what Belgian beers are like. Belgian beer is very foamy. Very like kind of full-bodied beers, you know? So we had like maybe one of each, but it's a you know, it's a foam pretty, you know. So by now we've had half a bottle of wine each, a good amount of vodka, and this Belgian beer. Okay. Totally okay so far. I mean, you know, obviously buzzed, quasi-drunk. Then we're like, okay, what's good? We go to a drum and bass club.
In Buenos Aires.
In Buenos Aires, 160 beats per minute. So we're like, okay, we need something, you know, there's like a lot of people in the club. We need something to cool off, you know, it's like very hot. We get the national beer of Argentina. It's like basically their version of like Bud Light.
Yeah.
It's very gassy. So I had like one. And then what happens is I start dancing to drum and bass. So basically, which is 160 beats per minute. So it's like it's like essentially what I did was I put all of these different types of alcohol in me. I put all this Russian food in me, and I started shaking it up at 160 beats per minute. You can imagine what happened that night when we got home.
It's like Mentos and Coke.
Yes, sir. I
mean Coca-Cola, folks.
And my lover became the bowl. I made out. Я целовался с горшком. And then I said, that was one of those I'm never drinking again situations. And the next day, I just walked around like in a. It's funny, like I didn't, leave the house the next day, just lounged around. And then the day after that, we were right back at it. Not as intense, not as bad. But that was my experience with drum and bass, my friend.
Okay, so that doesn't seem to be your experience with drum and bass. It seems to be your experience with strange alcohol.
Alcohol, combining it with drum and bass. Yeah.
Right. So Russian food in the wrong setting, wrong country.
I guess you could say that. No, the setting was very right. It was just the amount of the different types of alcohol that were ingested in a short period of time is just, uncalled for.
I know. So I don't hear the drum and bass. What did drum and bass do in this situation?
It was 160. It was very fast, and I danced to it with all this crap in me.
It's kind of like dancing to drum and bass. You got to picture it's kind of like jumping rope.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it was. Like, dude, had it been just regular house music. No, I'm saying had it been just regular house music on 130 beats per minute, I think I would have been fine. I really think I would have been fine.
It's like if you skip if you don't do cardio.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Right? If you go I'm saying like if you go like on drum and bass night, if you're gonna go out to the drum and bass club, skip cardio.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right. Bring a bottle of bring your Poland Spring.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was that. Speaking of Argentina. So let's get back to this whole women are not funny thing. So
Norm Macdonald, like I heard him I think it was on Howard Stern, which I don't like. I hate when he goes on Howard Stern.
Yeah.
But I'll still listen to it because it's Norm Macdonald. So so basically, I can't remember how they got into it, but they were talking about, he said that there aren't any really funny, there's no funny female comedians, right? And then Robin, she starts, saying, well, what about her? And what about her? It goes, yeah. But they speak with a male voice, meaning they don't make their voice deep. They try to speak as if they are a guy. They take on that persona of a guy. You know why? Because they are familiar with it.
Yeah.
There's no way that you can do that without being familiar with it. Like Sarah Silverman spent some time in places that ladies don't normally spend time. I don't have any details on that. I just know that was the case.
Correct.
Okay. Roseanne definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
For sure.
Roseanne was, first of all, was in a horrible car accident.
Yeah.
Like seriously,
she was in a horrible car accident. She was like a housewife to like a douchey or a few douchey husbands. She had a lot of hardships in her life where she can generate material.
Yeah, that's where good comedy comes from pain, and it also good music comes from pain, right?
You know what I noticed about comedians? Many of them are very sensitive people, actually, in reality.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, they feel on a deep level. They're not, like, cold.
And they're not nice.
Some of them are not nice, and some of them are...
It's like, you better think twice before, like, coming up to a comedian, like, if you see one, like, sitting there, they might snap at you, but leave me the fuck alone.
They might. Some of them are like good-hearted people. Let's say. They're like, they're good-hearted, but their disposition is not nice, is what you mean, right?
Yeah. I mean, no, they're good-hearted. I'm not saying that they're. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that they're not.
They're not the friendliest people.
They're not friendly.
Yeah.
They're going to be an ass, most likely.
Yeah, of course.
Because they have like a love-hate relationship with the audience.
Yeah.
Listen, they desperately want your approval, but, you know, if you don't get it, if they don't get it, then it becomes, you know, it switches gears like right away.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah.
I watched comedians for a long time. So.
You know, man, like I was, again, I told you the last comedy show I went to was recently, maybe like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. It was in the sister comedy club to Village Underground. That's where I went. And of course I used whatever to get in. Not that it matters anymore, but they're irrelevant. So we're sitting there. First of all, you can sense, or I could sense that obviously that everybody there is like in a completely different matrix than me, than you and I. And the comedians are asking. One of the comedians asked everybody, "Oh, so which one of you guys took the Schmeiser?" Everybody's like wearing it. You get the sense that people are like, they know it's all BS, and they did it anyway. It's all these like Gen Z people, you know?
Yeah.
Some of them were like, we took the Schmeiser. Some of them took the Schmamurna. Some of them were like, we took, Johnson, Schmonson. And I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, what planet am I on? And then the comedians were like, basically, again, half of them were women. And again, the humor is like, what do you call it? Meta humor kind of stuff?
Meta.
It was either meta, or if it wasn't meta, it was like somebody making fun of their quote-unquote racist or sexist relative. You know? Throwing the relatives under the bus. That kind of crap. Or just like talking about their dating thing.
This is the one time that I really, like, I usually love Bill Burr.
Yeah.
And then, like, there was this one routine where he was, like, talking about his racist grandma,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted, I wanted to, like, spit in his face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, like, really, like...
Yes. It's like you're talking about
grandma.
people from a different era. They cannot answer you. You're on stage. They're not there to answer your BS. And explain to you why they have to cross the street because they don't want to get robbed. Because that is what's going to happen. It doesn't make them racist. It just makes them self-preserving people.
Right. What if every time they got mugged, it was a black guy? Yeah. Does that mean that they should, like, how enlightened would you want this person to be? Like,
can I play something for you? I told you about Greer Barnes. You got to hear this.
Greer Barnes?
Here, hold on. Oh, wait. One second. The problem is my hold on. Give me a second. Let's do this.
Is that a comedian, Greer Barnes?
Yes, it is. Give me a second.
Let's look him up.
No. I'll play it for you. Here. This is absolutely. I'm gonna play you these two different clips. Hold on. Oh my God! For crying out loud. Okay.
I'm actually not a comic. I was outside the club chilling.
This is him in Comedy Cellar. He's black, obviously.
They asked me.
I know. I'm looking at a picture of him.
Mm-hmm. Listen.
I was like, I ain't gonna take my pants off. And he was like, you want this $5 or what?
He's so chilled out, he's like...
I was in the park earlier today where I live at.
He kind of looks like he lives in the park.
I was in the park earlier today and I saw a black squirrel being chased by two gray squirrels. And I got anxious. And I blurted out, run, nigga! Like, that's bad, right? But he got away. I was like, that's how you do it.
All the white people are laughing.
What's that?
Dude, listen to this.
Hold on.
Barnes.
I'll tell you.
I want you to hear this one.
Okay.
I want you to hear this specifically with this one joke about him here. I think you missed.
I don't like walking up behind white women at night.
Listen.
Makes me really uncomfortable. So I cross the street. A couple nights ago, I'm walking home. I got my Beats going. I don't have no headphones. I just have Beats.
He's like making motions like he says beats.
Right. It's the beat.
And I'm walking. White woman. I'm going across the street. Another white woman. So now I'm walking in the middle of the street. Which makes it look even more creepy. Almost like, which one of these? And then there's the cab driver. Bah, bah. Get out of the street, brother! I'm like, Vishnu, there are white women all over the place.
Vishnu.
Holy shit, get in! And he drives me to safety. And he's like, brother, when walking at night, you have to be very careful. These policemen and white women are very dangerous, brother. You have to take care of yourself, Denzel.
Denzel.
I was like, that's not my name. My name is not Vishnu. Touche, nigga. If I was a white woman, I would rob black dudes. I walk up to black guys and be like, hi, my name is Sarah. Give me your wallet. Sarah, that's my grandmama name. Give me your wallet or I'm going to scream. Here, Sarah. You need to get the cops involved. Take it.
That's a great idea, man.
That's fantastic.
A white woman could go ahead and rob, make a serious career out of robbing black dudes.
Listen. You could actually do that.
Try explaining that to a cop. Yeah, she was about this tall. She had brown hair, brown eyes. I think she did yoga. And she ran in that direction. Brown hair, brown eyes. Yoga. And you mean to tell me a man of your stature couldn't catch her? What I look like chasing a white woman?
It's great. There's another
So
one
listen
called
to this.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Barnes was born in the South Bronx and grew up on Manhattan's West Side.
Uh-huh.
He has a Jewish stepfather.
Whoa.
And he was bar mitzvahed at 13.
What?
Yeah.
That's no wonder he's like kind of different. That's amazing, man. Dude, that dude is like not young. He's like 50 something years old, 57 years old.
Yep, no, he got late.
Wow.
He started out late. I never heard of this guy
At
until
8,
you.
yeah, he's been performing in comedy. I used to see him like 20 years ago in Comedy Cellar back in the day. He was a star athlete in high school. 19, he was invited to try out for the San Francisco Giants. He had an injury when he was 18 years old. Well, yeah, you went to stand up. I saw him like 20 years ago in Comedy Cellar. He's very funny. He's very, very funny.
If I was a white woman, I'd be robbing black guys. I'm never gonna forget that.
Oh,
Dude, remember?
Yeah.
Remember when Patrice, like, somebody asked him? I think it was on Opie and Anthony. Like, no. This is stand up. He's like, man, we gotta be fair to white people sometimes. You know what I mean? Like everybody, like white people sometimes, you guys trying to be so, open minded and evolved that you kind of just basically lose your common sense. You know what I mean? Like, like if you see if you're a white dude and you see a whole group of black dudes coming, right? Like, like don't force yourself to like walk into them. Like, if you feel uncomfortable, just go save your life, man. You know what I mean? Like, he goes, look, if I'm walking down the street and I see a bunch of bald-headed white guys, right? Right? I'm running. I'm not gonna wait around, right? And they could be like, dude, where you going? And we're just coming from chemotherapy class.
What the hell?
He goes, that might be the case, but I'm not gonna risk it, right? Right?
Yeah.
He was fair. Patrice O'Neal was fair.
Yeah, he was. He was. Dude, I want you to hear this other skit from the same guy. You gotta hear this.
I was walking down into the train station and there was a white lady in front of me and she decides to fall.
She decides to fall.
Yeah. And I see it happening and I'm like, don't. She's like, I don't know what's happening. There's this white lady at the bottom of the steps. I'm at the top of the steps. I know how the picture look. I got a life choice to make. So I go back outside. That joke kills in a black crowd.
Yep.
I know that's right.
It's like a black woman in hindsight.
I hate the MTA. Have you been down in that labyrinth of... Ugh.
Labyrinth of Earth.
The labyrinth of Ugh. That's the perfect way to describe it.
Listen.
Making improvements so that your ride will be more enjoyable.
This is great. He's like, give this look.
Really? I still smell piss. Homeless dude taking his dick out. He's coming this way. Come on, man. New Yorkers will be like, yeah, he from out of town. Francois, how was your trip to New York? I don't want to talk about it. Is this you on YouTube?
He's got the thing hitting his head.
Be a heavy-set black woman to the rescue. Put your dick away. What's wrong with you?
It's kicking it.
I say put it away.
It's like an MTA worker kicking him in the head.
Don't play with me. All right, let's get back.
Wait, hold on. You gotta hear this. It's the end.
You all right, baby? Thank you for saving me. Where are you from? I am from Paris. Ooh, bonsoir, sugar. She starts singing.
He's very talented.
Off your face.
He's a very talented person.
Hold your head up. an improvement at the MTA? Start with that PA system. How about that?
Oh, this is the
Fuck
best.
yeah, I've lived in this city my entire life, and I've never met anyone that speaks. And why do we always look up? Yeah, I think he's in there. Try to hold on, man. We're gonna get you some help. Stuck in the electrical system. You alright, man?
Look at the dude falling out of the...
I'm sorry, I've been up there 75 years. I need something to drink.
I don't know. See, even a guy like that, I don't even know.
That's like the adults from Charlie Brown.
Yes, wah, 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 wah. See, I don't even know if he's talking about his hardships necessarily, this guy. But like,
dude, Jen Psaki looks like Peppermint Patty. Have you heard this?
I call her Peppermint Patty all the time. That's what I call her. She's Peppermint.
The amount of people who know who Peppermint Patty is dwindling.
Dude, you know that like you could tell if you watch her, if you did watch her stuff or her appearances in the beginning, and she wasn't wearing any makeup at all, and she was giving this look of like, I'm going to smack the person that's asking me the question, and for sure somebody sat down with her and they said to her, you know, we had focus groups on you, and you're the least likable person in America. So we're gonna put some like, you know, makeup on you, and we're gonna teach you how to be like smiley, a little more smilier than at least you are.
Well, that story doesn't make any sense, because why would you want to put the least likable person in America as the White House? Because
if you're trying to ruin America, like these people are doing on purpose, that's probably what you would do, which is, you know, the Sitrachra doing that. And you could tell they tried to do a thing of like, well, you know, people used to like the previous girl, what's her name, Kayleigh McEnany, who was just naturally like, you know, likable person. But
easy, buddy. She's a married lady.
That's
easy.
Right. I'm just saying, as a person, she's a likable person, but she was she was tough, but she was likable, you know. And they were like, how do we get this peppermint?
Dude, best
thing?
I'm not a fan of Bush. Best White House spokesperson is
the blonde?
No, the Jewish guy.
Oh, Ari Fleischer? Yeah.
Yes.
I thought you were gonna say that blonde chick, the one, Dana Perino.
The best ever.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say Dana Perino.
No, Dana Perino. When was she the White House spokesperson?
She was Bush's White House, and then she ended up marrying like a much older, rich guy.
Dana Perino's a beautiful lady.
She's a giant gold digger. She's married a much older, rich guy. Who she met on. Yeah, you know.
She Anna Nicole Smith herself.
For sure. She's 49 years old. She's gonna be 50 in May. But yeah, she married like what's it called? A guy who's like 60 something, or 70 something at this point. It's okay. It's all good.
That's actually, you know, when you get to those numbers, you know, when you're around 50 and your husband's like 70, that's not that great.
That's not that bad. They got married in 1998, so she was like 20 something, and he was like 40 something.
So he could have still been an attractive guy.
He could have been at that time. Yeah, that's true.
Gold digger is like, you know, when you know the guy's in a wheelchair and he's on life support. You know what I mean? And you're dating him. That's, you know, that's a little odd. But if the guy's in his... Dude, we're in our 40s.
I know.
What if... You look like a Turkish gigolo.
He's not Turkish, he's Israeli, that guy.
I said you, man.
Oh. If anything happens to my apartment. This is a 14th century Hungarian crossbow. I will shove it up your something.
Ladies, Greg is the Jewish Fabio.
No, I'm not. And yet, you're the married one. How does that work?
Well, I never got into the wires.
What does that
I
even
just
mean?
kind of let it. I kind of. That's an expression that I came up with.
Should I just not do the same thing as you? What should I do? What did you do that I should do? What's the key? What's the key here?
Okay, the key, I guess, is you have to. Okay, look, you have to. I don't know if you daven. Okay.
I've davened many times specifically for shidduchim. I daven in general. I davened with a minyan.
No, hold on. You know what I discovered about davening?
Mm-hmm.
I daven in the language that my heart speaks.
Same.
And believe it or not,
Same.
the weirdest thing in the world. And it took me years to come to terms with this.
Okay.
But when I really need to pray to God, I speak Russian.
Interesting.
When I'm worried about a family member and I need a refuah shlema for them, I beg God as because that's how I turn into a child, and I beg as a child in my child language.
I've done that actually in Russian. I've done Russian.
It doesn't have to be Russian. Whatever it is, whatever that is for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care if it's like Swahili.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the language that your heart speaks, then you gotta. And I'm not saying daven, the words in the siddur.
His bodadus.
I'm saying just your own words. When you're your own prayer. You're talking to God. Okay. You have to find a real moment. You can saying the words. You gotta. There has to be feeling in it. Seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
It's hard. To me, that's hard. That's not an easy thing to achieve.
Yeah.
I need time. I need
Yeah.
I gotta lock myself in a closet somewhere, or something like that. And it's not so easy.
Yeah.
So that's you have to pray. You have to ask for it. Okay, and that's it. That's really it. Do the breastlift thing.
I know. I believe me. I've done what you're talking about, man. I don't want to say I cornered the market on it, but as far as that being my primary method, I would say that that's the case. And
so just keep so that's if that's what you're doing, then it's gonna work.
Yeah.
But you should probably. I would recommend both of us stop talking crap about shadchanim.
Yeah. For sure.
The whole thing that has to disappear. That has to.
No, of course. I think I have done that. I just think that it came up in conversation. What was it the other day? It was just a more
right. So we got to watch that.
Thing.
No, okay. New rule. No, we don't crap on shadchanim anymore.
Yeah. It's like Bill Maher's new rules.
It's not like that at all.
No crapping on shadchanim.
It's not like that at all. Please don't ever say anything Bill Maher and me. Okay? I don't trust that guy.
True,
all right?
True.
I don't care how every once in a while he comes out and says something that makes sense, right? And then all the conservatives get excited, right? Yeah. Man, that's ridiculous.
Hilarious.
All right? So just like let's resolve to not say a negative word about Jewish dating.
Yeah.
People involved in it, anybody that you've ever dated before, even though they make for entertaining stories, but they might be too expensive.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
Might be too expensive. All right, maybe we made progress here.
We have a breakthrough. I got a breakthrough, Morty. I've been paying my therapist $150. It's like Jackie Mason. What's the skit where he talks about going to therapy and he's like, here, I want to play this since we're on the comedy thing. Here, you gotta hear this one. Here you go.
All right.
Customized.
Oh my God. Hold on. No.
I told you before, mister, I don't care if you laugh or not. He keeps telling me. And it don't bother me. You know why it don't bother me? Because thank God I know who I am. And I'm proud of it. Because there was a time I didn't know who I was. I don't know if you heard about it. I didn't know who I was. I went to a psychiatrist. I'm not ashamed to do it. I did. He took a look at me right away. He said, this is not you. I said, this is not me. Then who is it? He said, I don't know either. I said, then what do I need you for? He said, to find out who you are. He said, together, we're going to look for the real you. I said, if I don't know who I am, how I know who to look for? And even if I find me, how I know if it's me? Besides, if I want to look for me, what do I need him? I can look myself. Or I can take my friends, we know where I was. Besides, I said to myself, what if I find the real me and I find that he's even worse than me? What do I need him? I don't make enough for myself, I need a partner. 10 years ago, I've been glad to look for anybody. Now I'm doing good. Why should I look for him? He needs help. Let him look for me. He said, the search for the real you will have to continue. That will be $100. I said to myself, this is not the real me. Why should I give him the $100? I'll look for the real me. Let him give the $100. What if I find the real me? He don't think it's worth the $100. Then I'll stop my money with the real him. I said to myself, for all I know, the real me might be going to a different psychiatrist altogether. Might even be a psychiatrist himself. I said, wouldn't it be funny if you're the real me and you owe me $100? Tell you what, I'll charge you $50. We'll call it in.
Can I tell you my I told you my Jackie Mason story, right? When I went to one of his shows.
No.
2015. You know, Jackie liked to talk a lot about politics. So it was obviously the election season, Trump, Hillary.
Yeah.
They had just announced that they would be the respective nominees of their parties. So Jackie, in his typical style, what does he do? He has an intermission in between, the halfway point. So basically what he did was he spent the first 30 minutes making fun of Republicans, including Trump, which was very funny because at that time we also thought that Trump was a clown. Because he was running with other Republicans. Me and my dad were just like, this guy.
Well, we, Greg, didn't.
No, listen.
We thought, we knew right away what was going to happen.
Yeah, no, but we were like, we could laugh at it, We have the ability to laugh at it. He made jokes about Republicans and Trump, and it was very, very funny. Takes the intermission, comes back, and he starts on Hillary.
Quiet.
And it's very, very funny. Most of the people laughed because they know what they're getting. These yentas, these freaking yentas behind us get up. First they start murmuring something about that's not even true what he's saying and blah, 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 and this and that and the other. They get up and they leave. And then my mother gets infuriated. She goes, Greg, I'm telling you, this is Soviet Union. This is how it is. In Soviet Union, they can laugh at others. They can't laugh at themselves. Da, da, da. My mom got livid. And, dude, lo and behold, 2 or 3 years later, welcome. We thought my mom was just upset at these women, but it's, dude, you could see it. You could see it coming. And again, it wasn't like he was the super, he made fun of Trump for 30 minutes. And then he took a break, he came back, and he started making fun of Hillary. Because all is, fair and love in politics. But no. Not one, conservative person, there were a few conservative people there, they didn't get up when he's making fun of Trump or whomever. It's funny. If it's funny, it's funny, right? If whatever you're saying, dude, I had my whole skit mostly about Republicans. My first ever skit, my stand-up, I made fun of primarily Republicans. At the end, I made fun of Hillary, which was also funny. And most of my crowd, my friends and family, are conservative people. They thought it was hilarious. And actually, at that time, 2007, the people, this was in Gotham, in Chelsea, they thought that the stuff about Hillary was funny also. Because they weren't even Hillary fans. They were I don't know, not Bernie, whoever else was running over there. Dude, people have the ability to laugh at themselves.
Some people do.
It can't just be the Citrachra thing where like people can't laugh at themselves. Is that all it is?
Is that specifically?
Is it narcissism?
I like to think of it another way.
Is it narcissism?
Do you know? It's a narcissism.
Yeah.
So I guess that is part of the Citrachra, obviously. But you know how deep? I mean, it's been a while since I went out with a large group of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, at a restaurant. But I am the type of person, right, who anytime I'm interacting with what do they call, like, you know, the industry where like waiters, for instance, right? There's a service industry,
service, right? Yeah.
Right? Anybody who's in the service industry, I try to be really very as respectful as I possibly can, right? Yeah. Especially to your waiter. They're bringing your food.
Yeah.
That's the person you want to be nice to.
Yep.
That's not the person you want to, like, make them... You don't want to push their emotional buttons.
Yeah.
Right? Yep. There's some people who are so up their own ass.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry to use that expression, but that's what it is.
I know.
Okay?
Yep.
That they can't even imagine a situation where someone would do anything in retribution to them. They are so right. Yeah. They are so in the right that they can't even imagine, like, I don't know where this comes from, to be honest with you. Like, there's a group, like, for instance, you know, group of friends, one of the girlfriends, I whenever she would come with us, I'm like, I'm not even ordering anything.
Yeah.
Because and one time, she's always rude, always really, really rude, and treats the waiter or the waitress like garbage, and I'm always trying to be extra nice and sweet. I was like, you know, like I'm good. I'm the good one. You know what I mean? Like I don't. You know what I mean? Like, so this guy, you know, when they bring it, like, I was like, can I please have a Diet Coke? The guy brought my Diet Coke open.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. I've never seen that. Like,
yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah.
Obviously, there's something in my Diet Coke. Why would whoever opens a can of Diet Coke, the person opens the can for them, or you open it in front of them, right? You don't open it in the kitchen and then bring them.
Yeah.
So this is weird. That's, you know, just for practical reasons. You want to be nice to your waiter. Okay, so there's something similar to the person that feels that they can make a server crazy.
Yeah.
With all of their little things. You understand? Mm-hmm. Like, they were overindulged. That's what it is. It's like, I think it's situations where people get spoiled at a certain age, where they get the impression that everybody cares about their feelings.
Yeah.
Right? When you see liberals losing their mind, like, in public, and, you know, I also look at them and like, where do you get this confidence that everybody should care about what you care about?
I have no idea.
Or your feelings, or your little speech. You're annoying.
Yeah.
Nobody likes you.
Yeah.
Okay, you're so self-centered at this moment. You can't. You know, they brought you the wrong drink. Yeah. You understand? You weren't wronged. Yeah. Okay? This is something that happens when you're out in the world.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't have to shut everybody's life down because of what happened to you. Okay?
Yeah.
This is what liberals are like.
Yeah.
They were taught that everything that they care about matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? And I think that this was something that was promoted, you know, because if you create an entire generation of people like this, okay, well, here we are.
Yeah. This is crazy, man.
That's the answer, Greg. Overindulgence.
Yeah.
Okay? people are taught that the things that you think are good because you're young. Even where's that David Bowie song? I forgot the name of the song.
Forever Young?
No.
Which one?
No.
Which one?
David Bowie.
David Bowie. I'm thinking
Young.
of what's his name? Heroes? No.
There's a line in one of his songs where it's like, basically, I don't remember the exact words, but the idea behind the lyrics were, don't talk to these young people. They got the right, they have their youthful intelligence.
Young Americans? Is that what it was?
I don't know if it was that. I don't think it was Young Americans. It may have been. I'm not sure. But one of his famous songs. Okay, in the song, he's talking about he's talking to these old crusty white men.
Yeah.
Right? They don't need your guidance anymore.
Yeah.
This is like Bowie, probably in his 50s or late 90s. You know, he's old. Is my point. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you had these political operatives operating for a long time, making young people think that their ideas are good.
Mm-hmm.
There's the fantastic skit from the movie The Onion movie.
Yeah.
That came out in the mid 2000s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You ever see the Onion movie?
No, I didn't see it.
So there's this one section where you have these two Soviet republics at war with each other, right?
Yeah.
Right? And then there's like a protest going on, and some some douchey, kind of like mall hippie, pot smoker, right? He's wearing like a cross-colored, hoodie, stupid ski hat in the summer, you know what I mean? Like that kind of dude, right? And he goes, everybody, just say no to war, and he really thinks that he has something to offer to the situation, you know what I mean? Because if only they would just listen to us young folk, we really know where it's right.
Yeah.
So you hear this guy talking, and he's just saying the biggest nonsense, all the crap, all the talk, all the same, regurgitated leftist rhetoric, right? Yeah. But way stupider, way simpler.
Yeah.
And you have a group of people that are kind of just looking around. But then in the back, you have these Secret Service looking guys looking at him, right? Mm-hmm. And then they look at, they're kind of looking at him. They're all stern faced. They all look like Agent Smith, from the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're looking at him, and then they kind of just look at each other,
and
then they kind of nod their heads, and then so they go and they grab him, right? And you think he's getting arrested, but really they brought him to negotiate between these two countries.
That's
He
hilarious.
became the primary negotiator,
That's
right?
Hilarious. Sounds familiar.
And he's like, and they have this the two prime ministers, right? He's just smoking weed with them, and then all of a sudden they're lying on the same beanbag. Yeah. Everybody's lying on this giant beanbag, right? So he's smoking weed, and they're getting along, and then one little thing, after hours of smoking weed and bonding, then you think everything's going to be okay, and then one little thing later, and then the war ignites again. You know what I mean? And the kid thought that he had solved the situation. That was just a great skit. I didn't do it justice.
Yeah. I hear.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, find the scene.
Hold on. This is actually good. It's a brilliant. I mean, was the scene carried out? Was it acted out as good as it could have been? Probably not. But the idea is just awesome.
Why you look for that? What do you think of this whole thing? That Amy Schumer wants, just the fact of that. If I just landed from Mars, just the knowing that Amy Schumer wants Zelensky to come on the Oscars, that's already for me such a red flag. It's such a red flag.
Yeah.
It's just a blatant red flag.
It's terrifying when there's so many people who can't see through it.
I know, it's incredible. They literally don't.
Guys, it's so obvious that how embedded in the Sitra Achra is your mind.
Yeah.
It's hang on.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this the tennis player Rafael Nadal, the guy that threw Djokovic under the bus for not being schmaxed.
I saw it. Yeah, I know.
And
He's
now
messed
this
up.
guy
He
is
can't
like
breathe.
he's having breathing problem. He lost the final of whatever, the California tournament, Indian Wells, whatever. He's like, it feels like needles in his heart, and like chest pain and this and that. I mean, it's sad. I feel bad for the guy, but it's just like, it's so crazy. I've been thinking how like Hashem is just unraveling, all the stuff and all the people that we think are like not invincible, but just kind of like staples of staples of their profession, staples of their, on our television screens are just coming undone. Everything's coming undone,
Why is it taking so long? What the hell?
Why is it taking so long for it to come undone?
By the way, I got that the snapshot of Judge Smales.
Uh-huh.
Well, we're
Yes.
waiting. I sent
Yes.
it to you. Do you see it?
Yes. It's hilarious.
What would life be without that actor? Tell me.
Very
Tell
bad.
me.
It would be even worse than it is.
That guy is just a joy to the world.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. He was in. Remember that? There was a
There's a
sitcom. There was a sitcom. He
Yeah.
was in San
In
Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah, he played the dad.
Yeah.
What was
He
the
played
name
the dad, and then there was like a big dumb guy.
Yeah,
Who was
yeah.
kind of.
What was the name of the
forgot his
show?
name.
What was the name of the show? The name of the show was
I watched it, man. I remember it well.
Ted Knight. The name of the show was. I'll tell you what it was.
I'm looking it up too. Hold on.
Not filmography.
No.
It's ну блин, что такое? Doesn't say his TV. Oh, Too Close for Comfort. Too Close for
Is that
Comfort.
what it,
Yeah. It was
Is that really
it
what
was
it's
from
called?
1980 until 1983, and then ran on syndication. It was in the 80s, whatever, early 80s. Too
I
Close.
must have seen the. He actually had a show called The Ted Knight Show.
Yeah. So here he plays this guy Rush something, Rush.
Too Close for Comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Two
What's that
smokestack
guy-
daughters and a stupid whatever.
Oh
he
my
was.
God, that's where I know that actress from.
Yep.
That's where she's from.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking at the brunette lady in the back, the red shirt.
Yeah.
That's where I know her from. That's where she's from. I always saw her. I'm like, where the hell do I know
Deborah
her from?
Van Valkenburg. Whatever.
All right.
Yeah, Monroe
Hold on.
Ficus, that's the guy, Monroe.
Monroe.
Jim J.
Monroe's the
Bullock.
big goofy guy.
Jim J. Bullock, yeah, Jim Bullock. Monroe.
Monroe. I was thinking, what was his name?
Monroe, and he was like, Monroe? Huh?
What was
that
Monroe?
voice?
Why was he always there? Was he the handyman?
He was like the handyman or just one of these, he's something. Yeah, but that girl that...
He's like this. He's like, this is Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. No, that's from the Bobby
That's
Merchant.
what, yeah. Here. I can't believe I know this show because they used to have so many reruns of it. Even when I came to America, it was already like on.
Yeah, man. This might have been my first sitcom in memory.
Yeah. Too Close for Comfort. Yeah. Monroe's Secret Love's Secret. This is very funny. Yeah, the one that played the daughter. Oh my goodness gracious. The two of them, actually, both of them. Wow. With the,
Dude, Deborah, this lady, Deborah Gay von Valkenburg.
Yeah, that's her. The brunette.
I think she played in Warriors. Remember? It's like,
yes,
Warriors.
yes. Come on.
She was like the slutty girl from Warriors, right?
Yeah, she was. I'm looking at her now. See, this is when women were like natural, not too much makeup.
They look normal.
They didn't
they
have
look like a normal
implanted whatever. They just like
No surgery required.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like a regular girl.
Yeah.
Regular.
Yeah. Monroe. Here, wait. Listen to him talking in the show.
I'll have your place vacuumed first thing in the morning.
Oh
be here first thing in the morning. You're leaving now.
When is he going to sleep?
He's like
That's
this.
his problem.
Monroe, since my father seems insensitive to other people's feelings, I'm inviting you to spend the rest
What a
of the week on the
smokestack.
couch.
What a smokestack.
No, you don't. No strange man's gonna spend the night in my daughter's apartment.
Dad, this is Monroe.
Do you know of anybody stranger?
Dude, you should see his face.
Dad.
Dude, it's like angry.
Dude, was Monroe like was he playing a person who's slightly mentally challenged?
No, he's just like weird, like a weirdo, just like a stom weirdo, like not meant to, just like weird, you know. Like, see, that's the thing. They had like they were cool to depict people who were just weirdos. Remember in the show, what is it called? In the Jeffersons, you had the weird neighbor, like just like a weirdo. He's like a nice guy. He's not mentally challenged. He's just a weirdo. That guy looks like he's like Frankenstein's brother. That actor.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
just like,
the actor from The Freshman.
yeah, just like the
Professor
weird white
Sleeper.
guy. Yeah, like a weird white neighbor who's like easy to pick on, but he's very nice, and he's just weird, you know. Well, these kind of characters, you don't have them anymore. Like you can't depict these people anymore because they don't let us. Who they are, I don't know, but they don't.
Dude, you probably couldn't even have a Jazzy Jeff
You
in
can't.
this political climate.
Yeah, you can. You can't have a black man flying out of a
It's like,
house.
black
to do
guy,
it.
you threw a black guy?
Yeah, out of a
outside
house.
of-
Even if it's a black
It was
person throwing
black
another
guy.
black person.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The black guy who threw him out is a white
Then
supremacist.
they'll call him Uncle Tom. Look at Uncle Tom kicking that poor ghetto boy out
No,
of the
dude,
house.
we're past that. We're
Yeah.
way past that.
Yeah. Terrible. God.
It's terrible.
No, this actor, Ted Knight, incredible. He was here. I want to hear.
That guy.
Hold on.
The extra room.
Hold on.
I don't see how we can say no.
Watch me.
So effortless. So
Yeah, effortless.
effortlessly. I can't freaking talk for some reason.
This week.
Hold on.
Will you stop that? You don't mind, we're very tired. We'd like to go to sleep. We're exhausted.
Oh, so am I. Come on, Sarah.
What a smokestack. Oh goodness.
Good night, girls. I'll see you in the morning.
Oh, he was gay.
Monroe, that good night includes you.
Monroe was gay?
What are you waiting for?
He was a little fruity.
Oh, you two.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, I don't remember that because I was a kid, but this is San Francisco, right?
Yeah. So probably.
I mean, that's probably. I think that's probably what they were implying.
So which is funny why he was afraid that he's gonna sleep over with his daughters. It's like, what do you do? You know?
Good night, folks.
He's like, the faces, the facial expressions.
Go unpack. You pluck the bed.
Oh, there's like feathers everywhere.
I better call the police and tell them never mind.
Oh no.
Sarah, open the door.
The gay guy.
Okay.
Oh, that's that.
I gotta talk to you.
Dude.
Anyway,
Turn it off. Turn it off.
sorry.
Turn it off.
Anyway.
I just realized something. A huge premise in comedy, right? Real comedy, is to make the cranky old man make funny faces. Everybody's motivation is to do something to that guy, affect him.
It's like the dad in Raymond, the father in the chair.
Yeah. Peter Doyle.
Yeah.
You want to affect. That's maybe comedy is connected to that sense. You want to get a reaction from the authority figure. You want to affect them somehow.
Yeah.
Right. And if it's to make them like react like Judge Smith, like well, you know,
Yeah. Well.
that guy. Right. So that's what made that guy so incredible. I think he understood that. He gave the younger comedians, right, or the other actors, what they needed.
Yeah.
right? His reaction, his strong reaction to them, is what they were looking for. They needed that validation. That's the word I was looking for before. Validation.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another part of being in a tough situation, right? Where you develop comedy.
Yeah.
So, there's always a leader, right? If you're in war, you have whoever is the highest ranking officer. If you're on a construction site, you got the foreman, usually the oldest guy, right? Most experienced. When you're at home, you got your dad, right?
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like God. You want to see if you can affect God. You want to see if God cares about you.
We'll have a reaction. We'll respond.
Yeah, because if you can make him respond, that means you exist.
Yeah.
And if you can make him respond, that means you're validating you're there. You understand? It might have something to do with wanting to exist, because people, right, especially this idea of the nefesh habahamid, right?
Yeah.
Hasidus talks about how the human beings have two souls. Okay? And by the way, it's nonsense what a lot of rabbis say about, both Jews and non-Jews have both a godly soul and and what's called the animated soul. It's not the animal soul, it's the soul which animates.
Yeah. Okay?
So that animated soul is not eternal.
Yeah.
Okay? But that animated soul is our experience.
Yeah.
That's how we are experiencing this life that we're in right now. We are identifying mostly with the animated soul, right?
Yeah.
The soul that's in this world, interacting with having physical urges, all that kind of stuff. So that soul is panicked about not existing.
Yeah.
Okay? And I know all of these things are connected. Like comedy. What is comedy? Comedy, you're affecting people. You're making them laugh. That means you exist. That means you're important. You belong there, right? If this idea is not such a crazy idea. Like, I'm sure people hearing this are like, oh, that's so sad. It's not sad.
Yeah.
They might be onto something, guys.
Yeah. Because
I heard stories of like wise old religious Jews, right? And they, some of them who have the secret to long life, apparently, right?
Yeah.
The secret to long life is to stay useful.
Yeah.
There's a guy who was in his like mid 80s or early 90s, right? He would go to synagogue. He would go to shul. Shul is what religious Jews really call synagogue. Nobody uses the word synagogue.
Yeah.
Among religious Jews, we say shul. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, when they go to shul, people leave after the service, right? And then see that guy or that type of guy, like cleaning up. You'll see him. He'll put the chairs back.
Mm-hmm.
He'll put the prayer books back on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then somebody will come up to him and say, can I help you? No. He gets upset. Like, get out of here. Like, get away from me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna help me into the grave.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay useful. What are you trying to do here?
Yeah. Dude, can I tell you something? Whatever.
Yeah.
My parents have a neighbor, and they have their father. He should live. Adme Esrim. He is 95 years old, 96 years old. The dude, insists on, climbing up on the roof of the house, getting up on a ladder, and fixing whatever needs to be fixed up there. He insists on it, because if he didn't insist,
He wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Dude, the guy does gardening in their garden, in their backyard. He does all kinds of stuff around the house. This is a dude who lived through, World War II. If you talk to him, he's like pro-Stalin, because he has the perception of like that. You know, he lived through a time when Stalin, you know, didn't really do anything bad to him, and supposedly, allegedly, like people were like just living their lives or whatever. Like he doesn't have a bad perception of Stalin. This is like one of these kind of people. You know what I'm saying? He'll argue with you up and down about Stalin. That Stalin was the dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Jewish guy with a kippah who like participates in like Minyan, you know, who has nothing bad to say about Stalin apparently. However, you know, so you can't even come and tell him anything because he lived through so much crap. Like he survived so much crap. You want to talk about a person who went through some stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And so now he's just like climbing on rooftops and stuff. Like my mom tells me, tells my dad, she's like, look at this 95. You know, my dad's like 68, whatever. Granted, he had like health problems, whatever. But my dad's not 90 something. He's 68. Baruch Hashem, you know. My mom's just like, посмотри на этого старика, соседя. You know, look at this. You know, he goes up on roof. And you have, what is it called? Yeah, руки из нового места растут, you know? Your hands grow from one place.
Yeah.
It's like that typical, you know, trying to motivate him. It's just like, dude, the guy has to make himself useful. And if he stops doing that, like...
Because there's a rule, there's a principle, which is the default setting, and then young people don't realize it until they get to a certain point.
Yeah.
So basically, the rule is use it or lose it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and young people, they don't experience that principle.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of mercy when you're young, right?
Yeah.
Like you're given a lot of chances. You're given, you know, because you're young and you're sloppy.
Yeah.
Right? And you're there's a lot of things you don't understand, so you're going to be sloppy and you're going to take advantage of stuff that you shouldn't take advantage of. You're not going to understand opportunities that you have, and all that energy, all that, most of that is wasted.
Yeah. Youth, what is it? Youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah. And then by a certain age, you're supposed to understand that a reality that you're encompassed within.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're young, you were in a bubble that represents not the real reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But once you get to a certain age, that bubble pops.
Yep.
Now you are subject to the real rules of the world, which means, which is primarily use it or lose it.
Yeah.
If you have something, if you have muscles, you can keep your muscles, and you could be strong, you could be fit, you could be well into your early 70s. You could be playing ball, playing tennis, solidly.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're 40, if you're somewhere 38, 37, and you are not taking care of yourself, you're rapidly deteriorating. At this point.
It's true. That's true. That's true. That's why.
Okay, and the older you get, the faster the deterioration.
Yeah.
So use it or lose it.
Yeah. That just scared me into going back to cardio and going back to the gym. This whole spiel that you just gave over.
Dude, if you want to really take my advice, and actually, I confidently can say that I know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I have years of experience as a personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I've had years of experience of failing at trying different things, and so I collect a little bit of information, cutting through the bullshit of what the most important thing to focus on: legs.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so listen, squats, but that's not even the most important one. Focus. Spend like a year just focusing on squats and hip thrusts.
Can I tell you something? There's a guy who used to play in the NHL, hockey player, and now he still plays, but he doesn't play in the NHL anymore because he's 50 years old. He plays in the Czech. He's from Czech Republic. Jaromir Jagr. He's the second.
Dude, I know Jaromir
You know
Jagr. Are you
Jagr.
kidding me?
Okay. Jagr is the second highest scorer in the history of the NHL behind Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
And he's still playing in the Czech Extraliga, they call it, because he owns the team that he plays for. But apart from the fact that he owns it, he's actually still fit to play. Dude, the guy's primary workouts, he did an article a few times where he showed that he did, he just takes a broom, puts it behind his head, and does like an innumerable amount of squats per day.
Dude, do you know Mike Tyson's workout?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Mike Tyson's legs?
That's why he punches like that, because it's all from the legs. It's all the spring.
In the last fight that he had with Roy Jones Jr.
Oh yeah.
You're asking Roy Jones. He's like, he goes, man, Mike, like I've been training, but like, I don't. Mike, you got those legs, man. You got those powerful. Mike Tyson, he did this workout with a pack of playing cards.
Yeah.
Right, where you could find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Where he would have a pack of cards. He'd put a card down.
Mm-hmm.
He'd move to the side. Put another card down. He'd move to the side. Put another card until the whole. I think it was like the whole deck, and then he went back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He would pick up the card.
Yeah.
Then he would stand up, and he would just.
He did this since he was like 16 years old. Customato made him do it.
Yeah, it's because because that was the only way peekaboo was going to happen.
Yeah.
But, folks, the system of fighting, which a very advanced martial art.
Yeah.
It's called the peekaboo technique. Okay. All right, and that's what made him. It's the hardest thing to learn. Like no boxer invests their time because they don't. It's like, you know what I mean? They're like realistically.
Yeah.
But you gotta have those legs.
Yeah.
So first of all, the testosterone production from the squats, right, is gonna keep you young.
Yeah.
It's a hormonal thing that we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And also the stability, right, is gonna preserve your back.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But squats alone is not gonna help. It has to be. Actually, you know what? Let me put hip thrust in first place, then squats.
Yeah.
All right, because we sit all day.
Yeah.
Right. We kind of the biggest muscle and the powerhouse of the entire body is the butt.
Yeah. No.
Those are the biggest, most powerful muscles. They're supposed to be. Yeah. But since most people don't use those muscles very much, there's some kind of neurological issue that most people have.
Yeah.
Okay? So all of your movements, right? Mm-hmm. All of your athletic movements are supposed to be glute dominant.
Brother, can I call you in like 30 seconds? I apologize. It's just Mr. Ben calling. I just want to give him a call back.
All right. Sure.
So I just got word got word that we have around 30 minutes, or 30 or 45 minutes.
We have around.
Yeah, because there's going to be people here in the house.
Oh, I forgot. You're keeping me a secret. Understood.
I'm keeping you a secret.
I'm the side bitch of friends.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Damn.
But it's okay. It's we're already at an hour and 50, so 2.5 hours of, the shenanigans is fine.
Yeah, man. I think we got to cut down on the amount of time we play stuff, because it's almost like sometimes it feels like we get to the point.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't you just play the whole? Yeah. The whole stand-up set. You know.
I mean, those are like 5-minute clips.
Wake me up when you're done.
Yeah. These are like 5-minute clips I wanted to, play for you.
5-minute clips? That's like forever.
Yeah. Forever, ever?
Yeah, man. So, don't waste your time with cardio.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time with upper body, right? Okay. Just do push-ups. Do push-ups and do a pull-up every now and then. That's all you need for your upper body until your legs match your upper body. You got to be like, the legs got to be big.
Yeah.
Then you can start messing with the upper body.
Yeah.
That's what I would recommend after many years of failing.
Yeah, man.
All right,
That Yager guy.
What else is going on?
That Yager guy is 50 years old, bro. It's like.
Dude, Yager's a beast, man.
He's a beast.
Yager scared me when I was a child.
Yeah.
He looks like a caveman. He looks like early man.
Huh? I remember when it was
Can you find like a picture of him from the late '80s, early '90s?
Dude.
When he was a penguin.
Penguin, yeah. When I remember when it was him and Mario, and it was like, who's gonna stop these guys? Like the only ones that stopped them were like, I remember there was that one year where they were like, they made the conference final against the Panthers, John Van Biesbroek, and the only reason the Panthers won was because of John Van Biesbroek. But like it was just like scary to watch those guys. That's all they needed is those two guys on the power play. Mario Lemieux, or they split them up on different lines. And it was scary. It was scary stuff.
Dude, hockey has had a rocky life.
It has. It has.
In the public sphere.
Yeah. You know why?
It's
Because Bettman is an idiot. That former basketball executive who became the commissioner. He had gold in the palm. Speaking of 1994, dude, that's how you know. Like, he had gold in the palm of his hands. He made hockey. Hockey became one of the most popular sports in America in 1994. By the time the Rangers won the cup, it was the most popular sport. So what do they do?
I think it was a white thing. I think in the grand
Yeah,
scheme
but
with these guys, they can't have white heroes.
yeah, you know what they did the year after? They had a lockout. And then people stopped giving a damn. Granted, the Devils won the cup, but after the Devils won the cup, there was like a couple of years where they had that, the Colorado Avalanche, Detroit Red Wings rivalries with all the blood. And then after that ended, the mid-90s, it was basically, they had like another, 03, 04 after that season. They had another a strike or another lockout, and it almost like killed hockey. So what do they start doing? Right after, 94 season, they move Winnipeg Jets to Phoenix. They get a team in, they get teams in like places like Atlanta and Nashville. Atlanta ends up moving back to Winnipeg, or moving to Winnipeg. There's still a team in Phoenix, which is basically a waste.
Didn't Burbank have like the Mighty Ducks or something like that?
Anaheim. They still do. Anaheim Ducks. Because of the movie, the stupid movie, the Disney movie.
Right. That's what I was gonna get to.
Yeah.
Because I was like, hockey only had basically it had only two really big movies. There are a couple of small hockey movies, but
Slapshot. Slapshot is the best movie. Yeah.
Slapshot, the best movie ever, possibly.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you have the Mighty Ducks in the mid '90s or early '90s. It's a kid movie.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all that hockey ever got, man. That's crazy, right?
Yeah. Dude, you know what this idiot Bettman allowed to happen? He allowed the team from Quebec, the Nordiques, to move to Colorado. He allowed a team to leave Quebec City. There's Montreal, obviously, but like you allow teams from like Canadian mark. He allowed Minnesota North Stars to go to Dallas, and now they have a team in Minnesota.
It's crazy. What they really folks. Minnesota, Quebec.
Yeah.
These are cold places where people like.
That's where hockey players freaking come from. That's where high school hockey in Minnesota is the biggest, besides Boston.
Right. New York, it's cold. There's hockey rinks. People like hockey.
Yeah.
Okay. New York has two teams.
Yeah.
Right?
Why? Yeah. It's just like.
They still have the Rangers and the Islanders.
Rangers,
right?
Islanders, the Devils. We have Philly. We have Pittsburgh. Like, dude, they moved. Who else did they? Oh yeah, they moved Hartford to Carolina. The Hartford Whalers to Carolina. They moved them. Like, what is this?
I think that's what I think they did that to kill hockey. They got a director.
I don't know if it was to kill. The guy said, "Oh, we want to expand markets." You know, because now it's like, here's the thing: you have this guy.
No, that makes no sense whatsoever. I
There's
mean, anybody with any common sense, you know, they can hear horse shit from a mile away.
Yeah, dude. It was just like they were totally fine. They had 24 teams. You know, the competition, because the more teams you have, the less, you know, the thinner the talent pool is, because you have more guys. You know, the talent level when they had 24 teams was much higher. They had a lot of stars on, you know, the same team, as opposed to, you know, these guys being all over the freaking place. Like, it's just, I don't know. If you wanted to deliberately kill hockey, that's doing what Bettman did. People still hate him, dude. Every time he comes on the ice, you know, at the end of the Stanley Cup Finals, they boo him because they know what he did.
But you know what this should teach hockey players and hockey fans? Having a system like sports where you have a president of a sport making decisions on all that kind of crap. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just have a team, okay? Yeah. The team can have an owner.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't need a bureaucracy for a sports league.
Yeah. I mean, they have the NHLPA.
During the game. You have rules, you know, of the game. You get a referee.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's it.
Yeah.
What do you have a chairman for?
Yeah.
What's all this?
Commissioner.
Yeah. What do you? It's like a government. You know what I mean? It's like it's fascist.
Well, you know what this guy is. The idea is that he is the guy that like regulates the owner. He represents the owners or regulates the owners association, something like that. And there's, you know, the
Why
players.
do you need an owners association?
No, because the players, they negotiate the what's called the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. They have their own, and it's called the NHLPA. In their case.
See, they keep digging themselves into a deeper hole. Collective bargaining.
I know. Do you know why? You know what's so stupid? In America, the economic system of the country is essentially, you know, capitalistic. You don't have any salary caps for people, you know? But the sports is socialistic. You have salary caps. You can't spend more than a certain amount of money. Obviously, unless if you do, you pay, luxury tax. In Europe, it's literally the reverse. You have social democracies, you know, socialist democracies, countries. But when it comes to soccer teams, like, it's the highest bidder. Like, if some Arab guy from Dubai comes and buys a soccer team, he could spend an innumerable amount of money to buy whatever players he wants from whatever country for bazillions of dollars, and there's no limit. There's no salary cap in soccer, European soccer.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I'm like thinking, like, why can't they just do that for American sports? No salary cap. You buy the team, you have the money, pay for the thing. You don't have the money, sorry. And
okay, Greg.
That's it.
I think that we've solved this issue.
Yes.
And since I just realized since time is ticking, I wanted to. Can I read from that book? Remember, I was reading about the real translation of Genesis. Can I read verse 2?
Please do that. Yeah.
Man, we went all around the world, right? We talked about Peekaboo. We talked about Monroe from that show.
Yeah. Talk about hockey.
You know, Judge Smails, hockey. What to focus on in the gym.
That's right. We had a very this is like the man show.
Tic Tacs in a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you remember the man show before that guy became a leftist? What's his name?
And now girls on trampolines. I remember.
Yeah.
One of them stayed normal.
Adam Carolla. Yeah. The other one became an operative. Somebody came and offered him money to be an operative. What's his name? Jimmy Kimmel.
What an embarrassing Jimmy Kimmel. Embarrassing dude, man.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. So I'm reading from a book, which is called "In the Beginning: The Bible Unauthorized." Okay. The quick description is: this is the the English translation of the Bible contains errors ranging from mistaken conception to gross libel. The correct translation reveals the real Bible has yet to be understood by the world. Written by H. Moose. Okay, it's an anonymous author. H. Moose. Written in 1947 and circulated in rabbinic circles.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. There's a rumor that the anonymous author is the wife of the Lubavitcher Rebbe.
Yeah.
Her name was Haya Musia.
Yeah.
So H. Moose.
Haya Muska. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
So if you may have heard Greg and I talking about the different levels of learning Torah, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Pardes. It's a four-letter word. It's an acronym. So the P part stands for a word called pshat. Pshat is when you're reading a verse of the Torah, you always ask first, what is the pshat? What is the literal earthly meaning of this verse? Right? And then there are three deeper levels to learn. Each level is in line with each other. Okay? There's no it's not, if you're learning the simplistic level, right? The simple pshat, as we say, it's not going to contradict any of the deeper levels. They all work together, okay? But there is depth. What we're about to read is the simple level.
Mm-hmm.
The real pshat, which you would think is the easiest thing to get, but it seems to be actually, possibly, the hardest thing to get.
Yeah.
So here we go. Okay. Verse 2. If you want to hear verse 1, listen to last night's conversation. Okay, verse 2. Usually the way it's translated is, and the earth was without form, which is the haaretz hayata tohu. Right?
Yeah.
Greg, I need you to stay awake.
I'm listening. No, I'm completely, dude. I'm completely with you.
I need you not to scroll on Instagram.
Not scrolling anything.
I need you not to click on Getter.
No Getter here. I'm listening to exactly what you're saying.
Facebook. Okay, fine.
It's
So in Hebrew, the haaretz hayta tohu, and the earth was, tohu is usually translated as chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the real translation. And the part potentially to become the earth was primal matter. The haaretz hayta tohu is this. And the part potentially to become the earth was primal matter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So when it says the earth, it's not talking about formed earth. It's talking about the matter which will eventually form the earth in its kind of final, the way kind of like the way we see it now.
Yeah.
Okay? Let me open the Hebrew. Just a second. Keep forgetting to do that. Should do that first. Dead air.
It's all right.
Dude, you ever see that? I don't know if you watch American Dad, but there's this one episode where, I don't know why, but Roger the alien, he's dressed like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yes.
Right? And then him and Stan, right? The American Dad, right? They get really, really high for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay? I think because they went to a dealer's house that was full of weed, and then they burnt down, so they got really, really high. And then they stopped at the next scene, they're at like some convenience store, like a 7-Eleven type place, and their eyes are all red. And they're just like standing there staring at the aisles. You have this like silly elevator music that's playing. So we should get that music whenever there's dead air, and just install that music, and that will be entertaining for people. Trust me. Trust me. Okay. Okay, hold on. I'm going to find that music. Actually, hold on. Hold on. This is like important, I think. Hold on a second. All right, folks. A second. Roger and Stan get high. It's really a great show. Okay, hold on. Second. Okay, hold on. I'm skipping ahead. You hear this?
Yes. Yeah.
He's just staring at the chips.
The hell?
Okay. All right. That's what we're going to play from now on, folks. Okay. Okay. Back to the Torah. Enough kidding around. All right. So we got verse 2. The haaretz haita tohu. And the translation of that is, and the part potentially to become the earth was primal matter. Okay? So tohu is translated as primal matter.
Yeah.
Okay? And then the word bohu, right? Tohu va bohu.
Yeah.
Right? Bohu.
Yeah.
So the vohu part is all earthly raw within it. Because bohu literally means within it. Okay? It's usually translated as void, meaning empty. But it actually, what it really means is all earthly raw within it. Meaning everything, all the raw materials that are needed to make the earth are within this primal matter called tohu. You with me so far?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Okay. I'm very excited. Okay, so, okay. Vehoshech, and the darkness, al penei tahom, is on the face of the deep. Okay, which is, like, what is the deep? Okay?
Yeah.
So, but what it really is, the deep, here's the real translation. The deep all around the mass, which we call tohu, was darkness. I'll say that again. This abyss, which is called tahom, right? In Hebrew, tahom.
Yeah.
Is all around the mass. Okay? And it's cold, and it was darkness. It's dark. What is he describing? Okay? You have this mass of primal matter, which is forming to become the earth.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you have a completely dark abyss. It's talking about space. The cosmos, outer space.
Yeah.
Tahom is outer space. It's the abyss. Okay? Normally in the Bible, when you hear the word tahom, it's associated with like a very deep ocean.
Yeah.
Okay? But that's borrowed because on earth, the experience on earth, what's the deepest, what's something deep that you're going to experience? I mean, physically, right? That's going to be the ocean, right? There's nothing that's deep. Okay?
Yeah.
But that's not the deepest thing there is. The deepest thing there is in the physical universe, that's space.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And it's dark.
Yeah.
So again, listen, the deep all around the mass was darkness. Okay? And then in the Hebrew, it goes, V'ruach Elohim merachefet, and the wind or the spirit of God, merachefet, is usually translated as like hovering or fluttering, right? Al penei hamayim, on the face of the water. Okay? So, so the actual translation is that when it says V'ruach Elohim, right? And here it is. And a forceful wind fronting.
Yeah.
You know what that word fronting means? Affecting the surface of it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Acting upon the surface, fronting it, okay?
Yeah.
So again, a forceful wind fronting the volume of the liquid stuff, this fluidic mass, it's going to become the earth, right? On all of its faces, that's al penei. the liquid stuff on all its faces, al pnei hamayim. It was carrying and revolving it. That's merachefet, revolving it very swiftly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to read it from start to finish, no interruptions. Verse 2, and the part potentially to become the earth was primal matter. All earthly raw material within it. The deep all around the mass was darkness. And a forceful wind fronting the volume of the liquid stuff on all its faces was carrying and revolving it very swiftly. Okay? So Ruach Elohim is translated here as a forceful wind.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, the earth, right? Or if you look into the cosmos, you have the bodies, you have these nebula, and then at some point, the material within it begins to kind of spin, the spin is created by the gravity of the gravity as a result of the mass that is accruing somehow, right?
Yeah.
So gravity is the forceful wind, which is acting upon the surface of this mass, right? It's in a sense causing it to condense and to spin, right? So it's being described here as a wind of God, right? So it's gravity.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to quickly read the actual commentary very quick, okay?
Yeah.
The two Hebrew words given in the common translation as, quote, without form and void, that's tohu vavohu in Hebrew, right? They actually mean to be wondered at, and that's tohu, to be wondered at, and bohu is all within it. Okay? It is a mixture of raw stuff at which one would stand in wonder. Its confused contents had everything necessary to make an earth and whatever was to be on it. Soil, water, stone, metals, plants, life, etc.
Yeah.
In the raw, undifferentiated state of which it was still a part. Okay, this tohu, right? This material.
Yeah.
It was surrounded by darkness, carried swiftly by a forceful wind, which fronted it on all faces, revolving it at the same time. This was to prevent it from spreading out and dissipating by thinning, as a gaseous body ordinarily would. Like, what's a nebula? It's just a big gas cloud, right?
Yeah.
But somehow it forms stars and planets. Okay. So the word used here to denote wind also means spirit. We're talking about ruach, right?
Yeah.
Because both are unseen yet felt. The spirit is unseen, yet you feel it, and the wind is also, you don't see the wind, but you feel it. Okay. Here it means wind, and as it's literally as God's wind.
Yeah.
Ruach Elohim.
Yeah.
It denotes a forceful wind, okay, which such that only God could make and use for such a purpose to carry the matter in space. One may also recall the strong gravitational forces of the original expanding mass of the universe. She's referring here to the Big Bang.
Yeah.
In the same way that a great terror is called in Hebrew the terror of God, right? Which you would find in Genesis 35. Genesis 35, verse 5.
Yeah, that's at 35.
A great fire is called a fire of God. Job, chapter 1, verse 16. Okay. So a great man, right, of exceptional beauty or spiritual merit is a man of God, as you would find in Judges, chapter 13, verse 6. Okay. You found this use, of God. This thing of God, right?
Yeah.
It's always describing something that's like, extremely, the most extreme example of that, whatever that is. Okay? So throughout the Bible, things are described as being extraordinarily great or forceful or exceptional by adding to them the words of God.
Yeah.
Okay? As in the case here, a wind of God, Ruach Elohim. Okay? Which means a forceful wind. Okay?
Yeah.
Which is a great understatement.
Yeah.
Okay? What is the sense of saying a wind of God unless you mean that there are other winds that God is not he's not showing it that he's directly. I'm not going to be able to explain this idea. Anyway, moving on. No, because basically there's certain things that God does, right? When we read the Tanakh, right?
Yeah.
Which he wants to make it clear that it's him doing it. So he does it in an extremely awesome way.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's some other stuff which just seems to kind of be part of the system that he created, right?
Yeah.
Of course it's him doing it, but it's not, he didn't designate it as a communication saying, yeah, that's really me. It's part of his hiding, right? Nature. It's part of God's hiding. So that's really what she's trying to say. Okay, thus, the words of God are not a mere rhetorical flourish, okay? As many past translations would have you believe. The Bible does not say that the forceful wind moved, but that it revolved and rotated this liquid bulk, right, of the earth, the material of the earth, unless grammar and etymology are not to be considered. Meaning, like, what the author is saying, that if you care about Hebrew grammar, right, then you're not going to be able to interpret it the way that some of these translations have interpreted it, okay? Right? If you take the grammar into consideration, then you have what we just said. Okay. So it revolved the matter and it carried it in space. Even as the earthly globe and the rest of the solar system are still forcefully carried through space as we speak, moving and revolving swiftly as only God could have caused it. By a wind of his own, right? A truly forceful wind. Okay? The text expressly has, quote, fronting the liquid stuff all around. Okay? Which is al panei hamayim in Hebrew. Okay? On all sides or faces. Okay?
Yeah.
The faces of al panei, right? The faces of hamayim. So normally mayim is used as water, right? But this is very early. This is only the second verse in the Torah. And this is the first time water is mentioned, right? So directly, that is, okay? So mayim means fluidity. Fluid or a liquid. It's not necessarily water, just liquid. It's the concept of being fluid. That's what mayim really is.
Yeah.
And then later on, in our experience here on Earth, on daily life, what do we see that fits that description most? Water. Okay?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that it's not limited to water. Okay? Mayim is the concept of fluidity. Okay. So fronting the liquid stuff all around. Al panei hamayim. Okay? On all sides or faces. The common translation, unwarrantedly, okay, has on the face of the waters, meaning that's not correct. Okay? So the question is, why on the face, right? On the waters would suffice. Right? Why it didn't need to say on the face of the water.
Yeah.
Right? The word face didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
Okay? So, just saying on the water, that would have been enough. Okay? So then again, the matter really had no top face, right? Since it was a distinct creation in the midst of endless space. Okay? And there was nothing that faced it to determine its top and bottom. the mention of the word face could refer only to the periphery, hence fronting it on all its faces, all around. Okay, just think of the surface of a ball. Okay, and this was for the purpose of keeping all of the mass intact. Okay, carrying and revolving it very swiftly, so as to preserve it. To keep it from dissipating.
Yeah.
Okay, but in this verse, the earth was still a part of the matter moving in what we now call heaven.
Yeah.
Thus, the earth was in the heavens in a manner of speaking.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. What do you think?
Nice. I just heard the classical thing of, Shamayim is Shebemayim, meaning like there's water in the sky, so to speak.
Right. So Shemayim could be, that's already
it's physical. That's already
you're studying
physical.
it in depth.
Yeah,
that's not pshat.
Yeah.
The actual pshat of the word Shemayim, from a grammatic standpoint, is Aish and Mayim.
Yeah.
It's a mixture. It's like you take the word Aish,
Yeah.
you take the word Mayim, you mush them together, and you get Shemayim.
Yeah.
Aish means fire.
Yeah.
Mayim means liquid.
Yeah. Yeah, the Shebemayim thing is more of like a cute Kabbalistic.
It's not cute.
Well, it's not cute.
It's true.
It
and
is true.
And it's deep, but it's not.
Yeah.
See, God, he wants to teach you what you would have witnessed physically.
Yeah.
If that were possible, right?
Yeah.
That's how much detail there is, and it's they have to keep it a secret. This book was written in 1947.
Yeah, man.
Why is this not the standard translation? Why?
Yeah.
It's correct.
Yeah.
No one's going to argue it's not correct.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yep. So, shall we call it? Is your friend there? Do you have to go into hiding just yet?
No, it's not into hiding. No, if anything, it's not. I don't have to go into hiding. I have to come out.
I think I'm hurt.
And interact with people.
I think I'm going to decide to have I feel like I'm going to make a decision.
You're gonna do what those Yentas did at the Jackie Mason show.
I'm going to do what those Yentas did, and I'm going to not have a sense of humor.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Dude, they were like huffing and puffing. It's not true what he's saying. The whole my mom's just like looking at this. She's just like, these women are like, she's like, there's more of them like this. This is not the only ones. My sister didn't understand. She's like, why are you so upset? This and that. She's like, because you don't understand. They're gonna kill comedy. They're gonna kill humor. And then when they're done with that, they're gonna kill us.
She's so right.
Yeah.
Nobody believes.
This is like 7 years ago. I believed. I saw that stuff. I was like, yo, if you can't laugh, we just laughed at your stuff, making fun of our own guys, and you can't laugh at your thing. I was like, yo, these people cray. Like,
for the folks at home, Greg's parents made the same mistake that my parents did.
Which is what? Okay?
Which is that they wanted to come to America, right? But they didn't realize that they didn't quite make it.
What does that mean?
My parents came to New York. His parents came to New York. His parents moved to Jersey. Yeah. It's the same shit. Yeah. Okay?
Well, they wanted to go to California at one point. My parents.
That's also not neat. That's not America.
No, he wanted to go to like Silicon Valley and like do the
I know, but that's not America. See that?
I guess
it's a huge. What is America? America is
Middle America.
Gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's protect is the reality of self-sufficiency.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's being armed, not allowing the government to terrorize you, depending on what it thinks is necessary for society. Okay.
Yeah.
So when they moved to New York, they didn't realize New York's not America. That you can't live like an American. That's like, it's just a piece of shit.
Yeah, it is.
That whole region.
Yeah, it's true.
So, and it's not just about guns. It's about the mindset. The people there they got a commie mind. Even if they're not consciously communist, they live in that environment.
Yeah, it's imbued.
Bureaucracy, police state,
yeah,
corruption, It's just crazy.
And if you say any of these things, it's like, oh, racist. Yeah, when you say it's like the city is corrupt. It's full of corrupt.
And they have the dragon mentality. You know, the village dragon, meaning like, you know, well, how come? Why did that guy? Why was he murdered in his apartment during the robbery?
Yeah, they don't understand.
Because you know, whatever, he didn't have a gun. He couldn't protect himself.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it wasn't good for him, but for overall, it's good. Because if you have people who have guns, there's so many people, population, they're going to be shooting at each other.
Yeah.
What are they doing now?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
speaking of pushing white
system,
women down the train, that's what they're actually doing.
Yeah. More like Chinese women.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Chinese are the new white people.
Yeah, Asian hate is crazy, man. It's crazy. And it's coming from, we won't say who.
It's coming from black people.
Oh, that's good. I was trying to avoid that.
Why?
Thanks for canceling our show there, Frank.
It's not coming from all black people. It's coming from crazy ones who like to hang out in the park
It's coming from Greer Barnes.
There was a famous Broadway singing coach that was an elderly lady that was last week that was attacked and killed.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Right?
So crazy.
And when they showed, like, I wanted to get a picture of who the assailant was. Yeah. And they showed like a snapshot where it wasn't clear. Yeah. But it was clearly a young white girl.
Really? What? No,
that's serious? That's what they showed in the picture. I don't know if that's really what it was.
That's crazy.
Okay? But I'm not being diplomatic right now. You know how much I hate that. You know, right?
Yeah.
But I was just thinking to myself, a young white girl killed like an elderly white lady, you know, for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
You know, I could see like some young, brainwashed, like, you know, little lefty, you know, coming straight from like Fordham University or whatever, wherever the hell, you know, the new school.
The new school, yeah. SVA, new school, Pratt.
Okay, right. And she's learning. She's learning about the evil of white people, especially old white people, right? Yeah. And she's just like, her heart is just breaking for all the evil and all the victims. And then she sees this white lady, and she just can't take it anymore, and she has to lash out. I could see that happening.
It's like that girl in your Uber.
Oh God.
The demon beast.
Very upsetting. Very. So beautiful, like a, you know, like if she just kept her mouth shut, I would just be like in awe, you know, just kind of like glow. Yeah. You understand? Yeah. But so stupid.
You know what we used to say to the girls like that? Not to, but about. Say it with me now. What a waste.
What a waste.
What a waste. Dude, there was a girl I met in a shul in Crown Heights who was fairly attractive. I guess she grew up Frum or Lubavitch or whatever. And I found out later that she's into girls. When myself and the roommates found this out.
Hold on. I'm sorry. I have to stop you for a second. Yeah. Whenever I hear that, my natural, it's more of a shtick really, but it's kind of a leftover from a more uncivilized Frank. Yeah. Okay? Normally what I would go is, yes.
Yeah. No, in this case we were like, what a waste.
The folks at home, you know, for most guys out there, you know, they'll tell you, not really. People who are born in the Orthodox Jewish world, they have they can't really imagine this.
Dude.
Hold on. I'm not talking about the guys who fry out. I'm talking about you know, the guys who stayed in the system. Yeah. Good boys. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they don't understand. You know, they would be like, you know, if they hear like, oh yeah, that lady is bisexual, they'd be like, oh, that's terrible. And then, you know, guys like me and Greg, normal guys, right? Yeah. Meaning disgusting perverts, right? Yeah. We're all like, yes.
Dude, when I played ice hockey when I was 15 years old, I played in house league, and so we had like a 5 a.m. game because we're the oldest guys. So there was a guy on my team, and I'm gonna wrap up this because I think these guys are home. There was like nobody there at the rink. It was just the two teams playing, and all of a sudden you hear this guy at the end of the bench going, "Where are all the lesbians? Where's the lesbians? Where are the lesbians at?" This is like 1995, because we thought it was like hot, two girls, whatever.
Yeah,
and he would just
we didn't know the reality of that though.
Yeah.
It's not what they show us in the
exactly.
on the TV box with the moving picture.
Exactly.
No way.
Anyway, sir, the invasion's about to happen, so I have to hang up. I apologize, but we got a good amount of stuff.
I'm tired of this. I want to live free. Okay?
That's right. We will. I want to.
When are we going to come out? We have to have a coming out party.
All right, sir.
All right, I got to go to the Regal Beagle anyway. I'll see you.
All right, sir. Say hi to Furley for me.
I'll say hi to Larry.
Awesome.
And Furley.
All right.
Janet and Chrissy.
Fantastic.
All right, man.
All right. I'll talk to you.
Bye.